By the time this episode comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. has attacked Venezuela.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
It is imminent. Like right now, there are, I think it's 3,500 Marines there as of the other day, dozens of jets. You got Black Hawks. You got nuclear powered subs. I mean, they're building their arsenal and putting it in Puerto Rico, putting it near the coast.
Yeah.
They're clearly preparing for things, and they've been bombing these random boats in the Caribbean that they claim are drug dealers without providing any evidence. Not even to the people. They claim they have some classified opinion that they shared with Congress, but nobody's seen it. Nobody knows what. It's just like Bush and 9/11 all over again.
Dude, it's wild seeing Pete Hegseth share that on Twitter, like that he's so sure. Like, for example, some of the aftermath of some of these boats that have been blown up, he shares these long tweets where he's describing exactly how many of them were on the boat, exactly where they were from, exactly what type of narco-terrorists they were, what gang they were a part of. I'm like, dude, the odds that every single bit of that information is incredibly low, in my opinion. Like, I understand that we have like they have intelligence agencies that they have, they can get this
They've
information
got info
from.
that we don't have.
For sure. But dude, I do not buy for a second that in every single case they validated every one of those boats that they've blown up.
I agree. And, we have a little bit of potential evidence of that. So I think at this point it's up to 10 or 11 boats that have been blown up. And they've said that the numbers of killed is somewhere between 50 and 60. This will probably be outdated by the time people hear this because it's happening more and more frequently. Yeah. But there was one just this last week where 2 people actually survived. And that was it's the first time that they said, okay, 2 of the alleged drug dealers survived. One of them was from Ecuador. Another was from, I think, Colombia. And it created this momentary, literally it lasted 24 to 48 hours, this momentary kind of legal limbo where, for one, we already know they're on shaky ground to drop bombs on random boats in the Caribbean because it's not anywhere near U.S. waters, it's international waters, all these sorts of legal questions that have been around since Bush and Obama started drone bombing people anywhere in the world. And now we have survivors. And so they weren't sure what to do. The U.S. kind of recognized, at least in that case, that they couldn't legally hold them. So they very quickly contacted their home countries and then sent them back. So far, they've said if they're going to hold them accountable in their home countries, we'll see what happens. But the point to me in that is that they recognize that what they're doing is not as legally sound as they might be pretending to believe.
100%.
And they're like, okay, well, us starting to hold people hostage, that might be a line too far. So let's send them back home. But the big point on this whole thing is this alleged authority they have is the same authority that Obama claimed he had when he started drone bombing people in different parts of the world, where they said, if there's a terrorist out there that is in a potential danger to America, we can bomb them anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter about their sovereignty, their national borders. We can bomb anybody we want because we say they're a threat to us. And what are the other countries going to do? Nothing, right? So Obama normalized that, including killing American citizens in other countries. And now Trump's I call this lately the baton of tyranny. This is the way they just keep passing it back and forth. So Bush set it into motion, Obama takes it, passes it on, and so on and so on. And of course, Trump during his first term, he got rid of the legal requirement where the military is supposed to report how many drone strikes they do and how many civilian deaths there are. So we don't even know how many Biden really dropped. He may have done more than Trump, but Trump seems to be outdoing himself in the first term based on what we know publicly. And so they're taking that same apparent legal justification to say, well, now it's the drug dealers bringing in fentanyl allegedly from Venezuela, even though there's not really the DEA's own report from March this year under the Trump administration said that Venezuela is not a major producer of drugs, cocaine or fentanyl, all the claims they're making.
What is the reason then? Like, why do you think they want Venezuela so bad? Is it oil?
Oil is definitely a big part of it, but also, they're trying to get a foothold in, there's definitely some geopolitical things. They're definitely the U.S. is trying to maintain a foothold in South America. Right now, The only president or leader that is friendly to Trump or the U.S. in general is, what's his name? Javier Milei in Argentina, who's his own
which is also a whole separate thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Of sending
How
much money has been sent or is being sent to Argentina?
The U.S. is bailing them out now after they just got another IMF billions. I can't remember what the exact. So yeah, so right now that's part of that where the U.S. is looking at the situation where we need another friendly leader in there. And you might remember back in 2018, 2019, they tried to help out with a coup. There was this leader named Juan Guaido that claimed like he's the new leader and the U.S. recognized him and all these other countries started recognizing him, but nobody accepted him at home. None of the military generals really backed him and it just was a big flop. So for months though, they were cheering on like this is going to be the guy that saves Venezuela and it failed. Well, here we are now, 2025, And there's a new resistance leader. It's a woman. I can't recall her name, but she literally just won the Nobel Prize about a week ago, Peace Prize. So it's already like the things are being set into place that this is the woman. She's resistance in Venezuela. And I believe she's going to be who they prop up if they do decide to go through with this regime change. And because that's what it's really about. It's about regime change. This is not about trying to stop drugs flow and getting to Americans and helping us out. This is about trying to install a puppet into a big country in South America so they can have another foothold. And I think there's probably also, they want to just maintain that U.S. hegemony and influence down there. And the crazy thing to see is that just in the last week, President Maduro in Venezuela, which again, to anybody hearing this, especially any Venezuelans, this is not a defense of this guy. Like I support the people of Venezuela, not any of the presidential tyrants around the world. This guy, I'm sure, has his own corruption and own things going on, but I can guarantee you it's not good for Venezuelans if the U.S. goes and gets involved over there. But just this last week, the president is saying, and he doesn't speak much English, but he's speaking in English and saying, no war, no war. We only want peace. We only want peace. No more crazy war. No, like he's kind of at this point seeing that he's potentially the next Saddam, the next Gaddafi. And he's like, look, we don't want war. A couple weeks ago, he was kind of being a little more bold and saying the Venezuelan people are ready to stand up if this happens and this. But now I think he realizes like they're getting all their boats lined up. It's becoming more and more imminent. And Marco Rubio, the neocons from the Bush era, are in Trump's administration. So it's like, it's not like Trump is any different. This is another point to me of like why people should be skeptical of him. The same political players and philosophies for all Trump's sort of chaotic moves and he's a wild card or whatever, he's still bringing the same kind of agenda about the same people. So that's